Thanks for joining us today. My name is Travis Heiss, and I'm the president of James Publishing and Attorney Marketing. And today I'm going to share with you the many reasons why I believe you should migrate to the cloud. And I think the three most important reasons that everybody could agree with is to save time, energy, and most importantly, money. Now, this webinar is for any lawyer who wants to simplify their technology needs and wants to enhance their firm's performance. This webinar is certainly for you. And with the information I'm going to share with you, I believe that you'll see how you can do just those two things, and it's not difficult for you to achieve. Imagine what your firm would look like, or your day would look like, if you had a secure environment, if you didn't have to worry about ransomware or malware or just a standard virus on your computer or your system running slow. If you had access to have every piece of data that you would like to have access to any place, anytime, anywhere. I think that may be one of the most key important factors that we can help you achieve is data access and having access to your systems, to your applications from anywhere in the world, anytime you would like to have access to that. And to manage your staff and your team very effectively and very easily, and to understand what they're doing, what they're working on, what sites they're visiting, and what the challenges that they're having on a day-to-day basis. All of that's achievable by migrating to the cloud. And what if you could have access to this by tomorrow? I'm sure that sounds impossible to most of you, but I can assure you it's not impossible. In the next half hour, I'm going to show you how you can optimize your firm's performance. And that may be one of the broadest statements, I believe, but I believe that through technology that you can empower your staff and you can give them the tools and the accessibility to information that will allow them to thrive and allow them to grow. You can be more flexible with your staff, allowing them to work from home if they're sick, and they still have access to all of their data, all of their applications, all of their information from home. Nothing changes. Dramatically improve the collaboration. Again, and there's so much overlap in these items because collaboration from crews in Belize that you may be on with your staff or your associate attorney who's working on a motion seems impossible to you now, but it's not with our system. You can achieve that. And as long as you have a web browser, you can gain access to your data, to your desktop from anywhere you are in the world. And then you have unmitigated control of your security. I think that there's a big misnomer in law firms today because they believe that the servers they have in their closet are more secure than the data that they would keep in the cloud. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Amazon, the partner that we use, has thousands of engineers working around the clock to make sure that your data is safe. How many people do you have doing that for you? And how often are they updating your system? How high is the security that you have on your systems? How comfortable are you saying it's a fortress, it's Fort Knox, there's no way they could get into our system? I don't believe there's anyone who has servers in their office who can say that with confidence because it's just not true. What makes us different? Well, we serve law firms. We have been for 36 years. We've established a deep expertise in firms. I myself have worked inside law firms for nearly 3 years before joining James Publishing, and I was responsible in two separate law firms, a family law firm and a criminal defense practice, for revamping their entire intake process and their data collection and their data automation. So we automated the entire intake process and the entire case management process. And this was many years ago when it was much more difficult to do. So things have only gotten easier over the years, which is nice for me and nice for you as well. So I believe that we have a very firm understanding of how your firm operates or could operate, and we have the staff that can help you implement it. Again, we've been serving lawyers since 1981. Just a brief history of our company. We were founded in 1981 by Jim Powell. He saw a gap in the legal industry, publishing industry, and created some very amazing content that is still purchased by over 26,000 unique clients a year. It's one of the key foundational products that we offer, and it's certainly something that's not going away anytime soon. In 2003, Jim formed James Publishing Kids to help needy young people. He gives a tremendous amount of money to young kids who are trying to go to college. Him and his wife are very, very generous. In 2007, we acquired Photo Edit, which is an agency that focuses on school-aged images of school-aged children, and we work with textbook publishers, McGraw-Hill, Pearson, Cengage, and many others. And then in 2010, we launched James Attorney Marketing, and we started by just developing a very simple $2.95 website and writing some great content to go with that. And that over the past 6-7 years, that's really grown into what we are today, which is a complete technology solution provider for law firms. So we offer everything from website development, SEO, content development, reputation management, PPC management, and CRM implementation and marketing automation, all the way to IT desktop support. We have a full desktop support team. We have several IT engineers on staff. We are very well staffed with some very bright people and believe we can provide a complete solution for nearly every law firm that we work with. And that's why we've taken on so many different services, because we saw that we were just creating more problems by implementing a single service in a law firm due to the lack of collaboration with other agencies. It just wasn't happening. So there were so many gaps that were being created by us just implementing a CRM. Well, that was just one of the, another problem and a massive problem that was their entire network and their entire system. So we're trying to solve those problems and simplify the lives of the staff and the attorneys by creating very simple solutions that can maximize their time. I'd like to know how many of you are relying on antiquated servers, literally you keep in your closet, that, or maybe it's next to your desk, and you're still doing hard backups on CDs or maybe some tapes. Who knows? How many of you folks are out there doing that? If you could raise your hand, I would really like to know. Do you struggle to share and retrieve documents? Do you struggle to collaborate with your staff? Do you have the ability to gain access to your data when you're outside of the office? Those are all questions that I think are very pertinent to the situation. Do you waste too much time setting up workstations for new employees? This is something that I want to talk about briefly. Wasting time setting up workstations for new employees. I can't even think of a firm that actually sets up new workstations for employees. Most firms just they'll assign a old workstation to a new employee and sometimes not even change the username and password. So there's no way to tell who's done what on that system and when and where. So there's really no way to monitor the performance of their staff because that history of the prior employees still exists on that computer. So it's going to completely confuse that the data that by the results that particular staff member is going to produce. And more importantly, are you paying constant and hefty fees to maintain your network? I know a lot of our clients, current clients who were with old providers, they were paying them an amazing amount of money to do nothing, and they were simply just monitoring whether their network was quote unquote up or down and then doing quote unquote updates. So it was frustrating to go inside many of these firms and do a technology audit and see that most of the time the Microsoft standard updates weren't even done correctly or at all, or the server software hadn't been updated, or their switch and network router hadn't been updated and is working on a OS operating system that's out of date and not being supported. So there's so many different nuances that have to be and things that have to be looked after with a network, that it really takes someone who understands the importance of doing all of those things so that you can be more successful and have a reliable system. Because if by not doing those things, you're going to, create opportunities for hijackers, for viruses, for ransomware, for malware. And I know that everyone on this webinar has certainly been following the news, I'm sure, of the ransomware that's been kind of taking over things lately. And we've had a couple clients or new clients that had been hit by ransomware, and unfortunately, they didn't become clients until after they got hit. And that's what we're trying to mitigate here. We're trying to eliminate the need for a catastrophe to happen before you make this change. If you believe it's not going to happen to you, it's just a matter of time. They're constantly crawling the web looking for vulnerabilities in any system, and there's no reason why they would attack your firm versus the business next door to you. It just happens, and there's the only way to mitigate that is to have a strong system in place that is supported by some of the best engineers in the world, and that's what we feel like we have. Well, some of the good news, if you said yes to any of the previous questions, you'd be happy to learn that none of these are your real problem. The real problem is you haven't migrated to the cloud. And I mean that. I mean, by migrating to the cloud, you eliminate the majority of those problems. And I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. It really is amazing the type of flexibility, control, and opportunity that you have by migrating to the cloud, and you allow your staff to have and allow your staff to really grow and take advantage of some of the resources that are right there at your fingertips, and all of this by saving money as well. That's what's great about the whole system. There's 6 reasons that we feel like that law firms are starting to migrate to the cloud. First of all, it's affordable. Using in private clouds, it's almost always 30 to 40% less than maintaining a private network. If you look at it over a course of 5 years, by the lack of hardware you would have to purchase, by the lack of support, and the lack of time, it certainly is. It's much more affordable. Reliability, your own network will never have the uptime that our cloud provider has. Amazon has a 99.9% uptime rate. There's no way anyone with a local server can say that. Simplicity, it's certainly very simple. It's very easy. It's much faster. Uh, Creating new workspaces for an employee is as simple as, giving us a call, and in 10 minutes we can have a new workspace in place for you. It's that simple. And on the flip side of that, we can also shut down an existing staff member's workspace in a matter of a few minutes as well, and to maintain the data integrity and security if you felt like that there was something nefarious going on. Security, there's no other cloud provider like Amazon. They have the most sophisticated security systems in place. They have the best practices in place. They have the top engineers in place. They are hands down the best cloud provider on the market, and they're affordable. I think the 5th reason to me is probably the number one most important reason, I believe, is the accessibility. Imagine having the ability to access your programs, your applications. Time matters, best case. Uh, I got notices. I know there's so many them out there, Rocket Matters, that are all server based, but we migrate those to the cloud, and you can access those applications from anywhere you are in the world. As long as you have access to the internet through any system, through your phone, through your iPad, through a business systems or a business solutions computer inside of a hotel, you can gain access to your desktop and your servers. There's no difference between what you're going to see in your office and what you're going to see when you're on the road or at the courthouse or on a cruise. It looks exactly the same. And I think that's very important. Your desktop screen looks the same in the cloud. You have the same shortcuts, same icons. There's no training needed. We take your current setup, we migrate to the cloud, and we make it better. And you can't stress that enough. It's not this holistic change that's going to completely, uh, freak out everyone in your office and create a nightmare for your staff. Migrating to the cloud will unlock increased control of your network security, huge savings in time and money. And I think most importantly, safeguarding against hijackers and viruses. And we have an ethical responsibility to maintain the integrity and the safety of your client's data, and that should be something that's taken very seriously. And I know all of you do, but you're probably not sure exactly how to do that and to what extent you should go to. I can assure you that you need to really think about that seriously, because with all of the ransomware and malware that's out there today, there's a very high likelihood that if you have vulnerabilities in your system, that it could happen to you. And that's certainly something that we hate to see on a day-to-day basis, and we're trying to mitigate. And again, the freedom for your team to work from anywhere with access to anything at their fingertips. Here's the secret: you can achieve all of these things by using our approach. We are very good at what we do. We have been working with law firms for a very long time. We have gone through all of the bumps. We have seen the majority of the challenges that we're going to see. Of course, we learn something new on every migration, but in the end, every client has been very happy, and it's been a very unique experience for us. Cloud conversions through James workspaces, and that's what we call our virtual desktops, where you can gain access to your computer from anywhere in the world. And again, imagine working on any system, your iPad or whatever it is, by having a web browser, you can log into your desktop. It's that simple. The old way of doing that, certainly by having all these antiquated servers and server racks, and it's probably much more directed to larger firms, but all of that is just incredibly frustrating. Before, all of these frustrations, you attempt to access and to share information with, but you're limited by the central location of your data. It's just unbelievable, the restraints that you're putting on your staff and the hours that you're wasting by not looking at new technology solutions to help your team grow and help them thrive. If you really want to grow your practice, if you really want to operate more effectively and not spend so much time working, in the office, then you need to take this very serious, and you need to, allow us the opportunity to show you how we can help you eliminate these challenges. I believe that just with a few minutes of your time, I can show you how we can make your life a lot easier from a technology perspective. In the new way, take the advice. We have been through the gamut here with our own company of transitioning from a 1980s system to a cloud-based system and automating everything inside the entire company. And it was incredibly challenging, but we learned a lot. We've done it for dozens of law firms, so we've learned something new every time, and we feel like we have an incredible system and a process that allows us to almost make this transition seamless for law firms. Here's the thing. The beauty of utilizing James workspaces as a crowd is that, almost overnight, you're going to be saving money. You're going to have a higher sense and level of security. You're going to be able to turn that server off in your office and have some peace of mind for once. And that is something that is, probably the best part of it. When I get a phone call from an attorney who just says, "Hey, thank you so much. We had our doubts, but now I'm able to work Fridays from home, and I have access to all my data and all our applications. I'm able to spend more time with my kids, and I'm just far less frustrated." That's why we do this, because there's a lot of value that goes into making people's lives easier, and that's what we feel like we can do. Now that you've reached a pivotal point in your firm and the success of your firm, it's time to decide, how can I help you? Um, I've set aside a lot of time, and I would like to personally speak with you how we can help migrate your firm to the cloud or optimize your practice from a technology perspective. And that evaluation is completely free. We give you a complete unbiased uh, audit of your entire technology system and tell you exactly what we feel like we can help you with and what it'll cost. This approach certainly isn't for everyone. And this approach is not for lawyers and law firms that are satisfied with their current practices and their inferior technology. If you're scared and very fearful of making change and that's creating this space for you that's not going to allow you to do it, it probably isn't a good solution for you. Um, if you're comfortable not changing anything, you feel like that you have maximized every opportunity that you can, then certainly I don't need to waste your time or mine, auditing your space if you're not going to be willing to be open to some of the changes. And we really just want to maximize the firm's abilities and your success, and we feel like we can do that by you know creating a environment with your technology that allows your team to thrive. Don't wait. Everything again I do is tailored specifically to your firm. We do not have packages. There's no one size fits all for in technology. It's very customized. Every firm is different. Every firm has specific needs, and we take all of those into consideration. In most cases, we can meet all those needs and show you how you can do far more with far less. And I think that's important. If you'd like to schedule some time, please do. You can call now and schedule the time. You can use the link under my signature line in my email to schedule my calendar, and I think the team's going to send that out right after. I know that we're going to follow this up with some more information, and I really do look forward to speaking with you. I hope that I hear from all of you, or at least most of you on that's listening to this webinar, because I feel like that we can at least give you an idea of what the opportunity looks like for you. So please feel free to give me a call directly at the number you see below or schedule some time on my calendar. We do appreciate your time today. I hope you learned something, and please feel free again to schedule some time and I will do a demo specifically for you and show you specifically how the systems work and what the opportunity looks like. Appreciate your time. Thanks.